Garden tour. So this is our carrots. They are very overstuffed because we let Gabriel plant them, and he did a great job, but he got a little overzealous with the seeds. This over here is our green beans. They're not doing well. They haven't done well pretty much the whole time. I've been slowly losing them all to mosaic virus. These were black chickpeas. They never really did anything. Most of their blossoms got knocked off during rain, unfortunately, and heavy winds at one point. These are my pollinator plants that need to go out front because they are perennials. They are not doing great. They were supposed to be out front for a while. That's going to be fall lettuce. This is what's left of our beets. We're going to plant some more of them too. I pulled a few today. I'll show those later. These are my radishes that have bolted. I left them out so that the flowers draw more pollinators. We have golden zucchini. It is not yellow squash. It is actually a zucchini variety. They are stunning. They're this like almost day glow yellow. This is long white of Palermo, but unfortunately it doesn't have anything on it. These are my little Desi squashes. They are the little golf ball size or little baseball sized ones. We just ate the 3 that came off there yesterday, but we've got, where is it? Help. Where's the branch? There it is. Tiny little baby on there. So we're gonna get some more. This is my weird experiment. It has just survived in that 1-gallon pot all summer. Keeps putting out flowers, which is great for helping pollinate things. It keeps trying to produce fruit. It doesn't quite have enough power to do that, but it keeps trying really hard. And then we have our Rugosa Friulana, which is an Italian heirloom variety of summer squash. They are delicious. I highly recommend them. I love this like bumpy texture on them, but they're nice and succulent. They taste a little nutty. This is my beast of a Nimba zucchini. It's got a good sized one on there now. We're going to give it another day or two. And it's got a few more babies starting to come in, which I'm excited for. We had a bit of an issue with blossom end rot for a while, and then some brown spot, but I trimmed them all back and they're doing much better. This is my Romanesco zucchini. I have to harvest that today. We're going to have that with our, actually I might save it till tomorrow and let it get a little bigger. We're going to have it with our pasta primavera tomorrow. And then this is the gray zucchini. It's got a couple little babies on it. We just ate the last one last night. It was delicious. That one's one of my favorite varieties. They're a drier variety of zucchini, so they hold up their texture pretty well. This is my crazy eggplants. Everybody told me eggplants are impossible to grow. They lied. This is 4 plants. So far we have harvested 8 of these beautiful, like baseball sized eggplants off there, but I just pollinated 2 more flowers, and look at this, they're just everywhere. So we've got 2 plants of those. We're doing great. And then this is a long white, or no, what is it? Fingerling eggplant. We haven't harvested any of them yet. They got a little bit shaded out for the first part of the summer, so they're a little behind, which is actually fine because we don't eat that much eggplant. So getting them in stages is going to be good. But we are finally getting our first little baby fruit forming. If you don't know, eggplants have perfect flowers, so you can pollinate them by flicking them or using an electric toothbrush. Peppers, same thing. So these are kind of they don't look like much plants. There's 4 plants in a 10-gallon bucket, which sounds crazy, but they are clearly thriving. I just hand pollinated 40 new flowers today on 4 plants, and this is what they look like already. It's insane. This was another thing. People are like, oh, peppers are really hard to grow. No, they're not. Nothing has matured yet. They're still in their green phase. We haven't gotten to try anything yet. You can eat them green, but I want to wait for them to be the way they're supposed to be, but they are crazy. There's 3 varieties in here. We have just a hybrid baby snacking pepper. They're all sweet peppers. We have, what is this one? I can't even pronounce it. Ashe County pimento peppers. We have 2 of those. They're supposed to be super tasty. And then these little bitty ones that are just absolutely adorable are called Paradisum alacu sargacientes. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but they're supposed to be one of the best tasting peppers in the world, so I wanted to try them. This is my sugar kiss melon that may or may not actually taste like a sugar kiss melon because I grew it from saved seeds last year, which technically it's a hybrid, so it may not do what I want it to do, but we're trying. It's growing well. Either way, it'll be a tasty musk melon. These are called a rich sweetness 132 or 2343. I don't know. It's got a name. It's got a number on it, but that's as big as they get. They are little 1/4 to 1/2 pound fruits, and they will turn dark orange with bright orange or bright yellow stripes. So we're waiting on those. We've got 2. There's another little baby one here, and these 2 both look like they just got pollinated. This little baby over here is a freshly, there's another little baby one on there too. That's a silver Yamato mini watermelon. They'll be about the size of the mini watermelons that you get at the grocery store. She's a little late to start, but that's 2 of, I think I've counted 6 fruit on 1 plant, which is crazy. These are a yellow, all the way through variety of watermelon. This is called a lemon drop. We have 2 of them. There's another one on a second plant. They're gorgeous. I'm so excited. They're supposed to be delicious, but that's full size. This is almost fully ripe. So I'm super excited. They're a little mini pocket watermelon. These are called a Bene Kodima. Same thing, pocket watermelon. It's just a normal pink variety, but it's like large softball sized. They're supposed to be delicious. And then, or they were delicious actually. We tried that one last year. We did have a Camo eggplant too, which was like football shaped, about that size. It fell off last week, so we ate it. It was delicious. It was a little mild. This one here, and where's the other one? I tied the other one up. Oh. And that little one there, those are a Blacktail Mountain watermelon. They'll be about 12 pounds if they make it to maturity. They were a little late too. This is another one of those silver Yamatos. And there's more little baby ones that are trying to come in here. That one there. Still have a few of our early fortune cucumbers. She's getting tired. She's only got about 7 or 8 fruits left on her, but we're getting as many as we can. We're hoping for more of the White Wonder cucumbers. I pruned her a little heavily by accident, and she is struggling. My mini white pickle cucumber plant died on me. It got some kind of bacterial disease. And then we have the tomatoes, and we have crazy tomatoes. Crazy. This one here was a little bit of a late starter, but I mean, that's a big tomato for this is maybe a 3-foot plant. It's crazy. This is called a dwarf peppermint stripe. And then this one is not what it says it is. I don't know what it is. It's supposed to be cream sausage tomatoes, which are a paste variety, but as you can tell, this is not a paste variety at all. I don't know what it's going to be. We will see. It's starting to try to blush a little bit, so we'll see what happens. This one here is a dwarf parfait. They're little like mini beefsteaks. Didn't put out a ton of fruit. We had a rough season for tomatoes, but they're still in there. We're just starting to get things ripening. This thing's crazy. This is an Independence Day tomato. Clearly, that is misnamed. We are just now starting to get. It's a determinate variety, so it put out all its fruit pretty much at once. and now they're starting to lighten up and should turn into beautiful little red cocktail tomatoes pretty soon. This one I'm super excited for. This is a 2-foot plant. Okay, it's itty bitty. That's it, full size. And look at this thing. I really hope they're delicious. They're little mini yellow ox heart shaped tomatoes, so they should work for paste. I'm hoping, since my paste tomatoes didn't happen. It's a lemon or dwarf lemon ice tomato. They're supposed to be really tasty, and it's still putting out a few blossoms here. This, I have no idea what it is. This is not a dark striped tomato like it's supposed to be. I had an issue from one seller with some things coming mislabeled. It is super prolific, and I'm kind of mad that I don't really know what it is. Luckily, it has this beautiful variegated foliage, so it should be easy to try to track it down because there's not a lot of variegated tomatoes out there. So I'm really hoping I'll be able to figure it out. I suspect it's a shimifuru or shimifuri, which is a Japanese variety, which explains why it's doing well here because it's from northern Japan. But I want to know what it is so I can keep growing it, because clearly she likes our climate. This one here is a spud viper. Again, not a very big plant. It is, maybe 3.5 feet tall, and it's got like a ton of these little tomatoes just hidden all throughout, and it's still putting out blossoms, so I'm excited for that one. Those will be like a red and green stripe. This is this is a black early. It is not all that early, but it puts out these big mamas on a not very big plant again, although I think this one got a little stunted because the weather's been rough. It should be bigger than this, but it's got a decent crop. It has some new flower buds coming out now that the weather's cooled down a little and it stopped dropping blossoms all over. This thing suffered all year. I don't really know what's wrong with it. I think there may have been something in the soil that I put it in, because this one and the one next to it came from the same bag of potting mix, and they have both had a really difficult season, but they're starting to really pump out fruit. They're doing better. They got a really good feeding, a really good pruning. The leaves still look rough. They've looked like this all season though, so it is what it is. This is a Helsing Junction Blue, sorry. And they're going to be these super dark blue and red tomatoes. They're going to be gorgeous. I'm so excited for those. I love a dark tomato. This one is a dark orange musket, which is like a super dark colored, ultra sweet orange large cherry tomato. And it's finally starting to do stuff, but it just kind of like twisted all together, and I don't know what happened. But it's really trying to pump out a good amount of fruit now. This is my hundreds and thousands plant. As you can see, they're tiny little currant-sized, berry-sized tomatoes, but it is very prolific for the plant size. We've started harvesting some of those. I'll show them inside. They're like a nice bright red. This is a Flora Gold basket. Look at this. It's a tiny little micro plant. Like, this thing is, I don't know, 12 inches tall, maybe 14. And it's just loaded with tomatoes. I will, as long as they don't taste like the worst thing ever. And that one I can harvest today. Like the worst tomato I've ever had, I will grow them again. This is a Berry's Crazy Cherry. Unfortunately, she's had a rough year. Just the hot weather and then crazy rain. It's dropped a lot of blossoms recently, but I mean, if you look in there, this is called a multiflora. So it puts out these massive, I mean, this dropped half its blossoms, and there's still, that's one truss, one branch of fruit, and they're going to be that beautiful golden yellow. I'm going to harvest some of those later too. We're just starting to get our first fresh ripe tomatoes this week, but there's a few on there going up, and it keeps putting out a few flowers here and there. It's much smaller than it's supposed to be, so it's definitely not loving being in a pot. We may try it again next year in a little bit larger, like a 10-gallon pot as opposed to the 5-gallon. But I do kind of like, because we grow so many, that we don't get massive plants of everything in huge yields. This is a Lucky Tiger. They're going to be really cool green and red, like green, red, and black striped tomatoes when they're ripe. But this thing is prolific for the size. Like this is not a lot of plant. This is shorter than I am. But there's a lot, and it is still pumping out flowers like crazy. So I am looking forward to getting tons of those. This is our Black Beauty. I will grow this forever. Look at these. Look at them. This thing is like massive. Like they're big. Look at this. Like this was my first one to put out fruit. First one to start to blush. And it is just loaded. It has decided it's going to redirect all of its energy to ripening because all of the flowers are just dying at this point, which is fine. There's a lot of fruit on there. That's a lot of energy for a 5-gallon pot. These are cool. Okay, so they're not ripe yet. They're going to be bright red with yellow stripes. But they are called a Get Stuffed tomato, and they are an almost completely hollow tomato that's shaped like a bell pepper. And then they have like a strawberry shaped cluster of seeds inside that you can just scoop out. And then you can stuff them with whatever you want. And they're like an unobtrusive, mild tomato that is just designed for stuffing. And I'm so excited to try these. This was one that Mac requested for this year. These are an Amish slicer. Look at that beast. Look at her. Oh, I'm so excited. This is a golden, big slicing variety. And we've got some basil down there too. She's still putting out flowers. It's not a super productive plant. I mean, like I said, it's only about like 4 feet tall. Like it should be 6 or 8 feet. So they're doing really well considering they're struggling. This is called a raspberry mochi tomato. It's going to be a pink tomato. This is one from a company called Bunny Hop Seeds out of Florida. She breeds her own hybrids the old-fashioned way. So I'm excited for those. They're supposed to be really, really sweet and delicious and flavorful. This is one of the ones I'm the most looking forward to. This is like an award-winning tomato variety, Thornburg Terracotta. They're going to be a super dark orangey brown color with a really complex flavor, hopefully. Not super prolific. We lost a few on this one to blossom end rot, so it did have a lot more on it. But I will take what I can get with the summer being what it has been. This is another one that unless we just heat them, I will grow this variety. This is my only like full height. It's like, I don't know, 7 foot tomato plant. I do prune heavily because I don't have a lot of space. But this is a black cherry, black strawberry cherry tomato. And they are just stunning. Oop, she's gonna split. I should harvest that one and let it ripen in the house. But they are another one that has just pumped out fruit all season. It doesn't seem fazed by the heat or anything. It's still got a ton of flowers up top. I will definitely grow that. These are massive. Look at this. That is a tomato. It's actually a double tomato. These are cat-faced. Let's look at that. It's actually formed when when 2 blossoms or 2 or more blossoms fuse together. This one seems really prone to that because I have, out of the few fruit that this put out, 4 of them are, or 3 of them are cat-faced. I do have 2 little ones that are individuals, but this is called a great white tomato. They will be a like creamy white color, big beefsteak slicer. They're supposed to be really delicious. I'm kind of hoping they're not, because it has been a very difficult plant to deal with. I don't love that most of the blossoms seem to be fused. In fact, the one new blossom I have also looks like it's a double. Because you lose a lot of the fruit when you have to separate them and get rid of those types of things. So we'll see. This one is my first, like, really starting to put out fruit. I'm going to harvest these after the video. They're more blushing. This is called an Isis Candy Cherry, and it is supposed to be one of the sweetest tomatoes in the world, and it's super prolific, so I will definitely grow this. This is another one that's about 5.5, 6 feet tall, still putting out flowers. We love a good cherry tomato in this house. They're so versatile. You can use them for everything. And I'll just eat them out of the garden, honestly. I'm not allowed right now because we don't have enough. I have to share. But we have lots and lots and lots of those I'm excited about. This one I'm a little disappointed in. This is a wild variety. I did know going into it that it was kind of going to be a little bit of a gamble. It's called Coyote. It's an actual wild variety from Mexico. So we don't really have the best environment for these types of wild tomatoes that are typically from arid environments. Honestly, it probably did a lot better than it would have because we've had so much heat this year, and it's actually been struggling because of the extra water. So we'll see what happens. It does still have a bunch of flowers on it, but it puts out these itty bitty little currant sized, they're going to be bright yellow little baby tomatoes that are supposed to be super flavorful, which is why I wanted to try it. So that's my tomatoes, and then we're going to go buy the melons, the eggplants, and the peppers again. I got to support those peppers a little bit. And then over here we have my micro tomatoes. These are literally less than a foot tall, most of them. This one's like 14 inches, but the rest of them are just a few inches tall. This is a Regina yellow, and it's just loaded. Crazy. They're starting to ripen over there. I'm excited. This one is an Orange Dream. We've already harvested and tried a couple of these. They're delicious. There were quite a few more fruit on there. We've had like 5 or 6 of those. This is a Rosy Finch. Got 2 more ripening over here. We get to try those tonight. I picked a couple that weren't quite ripe yesterday, and they are perfect today. This is a Window Box Red, so that'll be a nice bright red tomato shortly. This is a Strong Boy Yellow. I already harvested one little one that got squished, so it's a little sad, but that one I'll probably grab tomorrow. I do tend to pick them a little early because the birds will get them. We have a lot of birds. The ones that turn nice and bright colors, because the birds really want those. The black ones are usually pretty safe. But this is called a Tartufo, and they are just these gorgeous, like, look at that. That whole tomato is just pitch black. And they have the same, all of the dark tomatoes have the same antioxidant in them as blueberries do. So they're really good for you. Excuse my dying flowers that never got planted. The rain has kind of put the kibosh on that. But they have drawn pollinators, and that's really all I wanted them to do. This is my Trinidad Purple Coffee ornamental pepper. They're also edible. They start out this beautiful, beautiful deep purple color, and they will ripen to a bright red. We did harvest one day before yesterday, and I made salsa verde with tomatillos we got at the farmer's market on Tuesday, and they're blazing hot. They're scorchers. The information said they were about jalapeno level heat, but I would put them much hotter than that. Granted, we don't love super spicy anyway, but they are delicious. It's got a little bit of a tropical flavor to it, but these have been, I mean, this is, again, like a 14-inch plant, and it is just loaded. Next year, we're actually going to overwinter these, and they will come back next year, and we'll put it in a bigger pot, and it will just take off right away. So I'm super excited for that. I've been hand pollinating those, so every single flower has become a fruit. This is a Volante Peach. Although I don't know why that one is turning red, or turning purple, but this is another hot pepper, much more mild. It's supposed to be fruity and mild, but we didn't think it was going to survive. It got really badly sunburned at the beginning of the season. It didn't look like it was going to do anything, and recently it just started putting out a ton of buds. So we've got like 5 or 6 fruit started on there, and I've been hand pollinating the flowers all along. And that is the garden. So I just wanted to share that with anybody who's been kind of following my gardening journey. I'm super excited. We're looking to expand and change a few things next year, like not put all the melons on the same trellis so we don't have to tie it to the ground because it tried to fall over. So we will be making some changes next year. I'm trying to get the HOA to let me get an arched trellis so that stuff will just hang down in the middle. But thanks for watching if you've made it this far. And no, I'm not becoming a vlogger. I just figured this was easier than photos. Bye.